Okay, so I want to tell you about the future. And everybody's talking about the trends and, what's going to happen and the fashions that are going to come, but it's not exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the future of the profession very fast, but I just want to mark this issue because I think a revolution is needed in this profession. And why that revolution is needed is because, designers have been, actually we took that role upon ourselves and we became kind of service personnel to people who pay. And that should change. Because it's impossible to live like this. It's impossible to be creative when you're constantly calculating money and when you're constantly responsible for money and when it's not a good place to be. And so I have ideas how to change it. And what I believe is that profession of interior designer is very educational. We are actually teaching people how to live. And most people don't know. But we, just by calling ourselves designers, we guarantee that we're going to do something good. We guarantee, just by naming ourselves that, we guarantee that what we're doing is beautiful. So this, brings a lot of responsibility. But, and yes, education is a is full of responsibility because teachers can, say wrong things or can say right things. And so I think that the whole concept of this profession has to change to education. So we're not supposed to take a house or a restaurant or a hotel and just do it for the people who have money. We're supposed to teach them how they can do it themselves. And these people, especially people who are building house for themselves, but also people who are building businesses, they are supposed to want to learn. And if they don't, then they should just leave us alone and let us do what we want. And not, you know what I want to say. I think that there should be just few options in how the designer creates these relationships with the clients. And option one is we say, do you want to learn? We can teach you. And then the designer becomes an educator, a teacher, charges by hour for as many amounts of lectures, lessons, training sessions as needed for that person to actually build his own house, his own restaurant, his own hotel. So we guide them, we help them, we show them how it can be done, what are the options. We help them realize what they actually want, and we charge per hour for education. And I believe that this approach is the right one. I believe that this is the way the people actually will appreciate the house they live in, will understand why their restaurant is looking the way it does, why their hotel is functioning or not. Because in a lot of these situations, the business, the success of the business depends on how it looks. And if the designer comes there just to make money, because everybody needs to, feed their families and pay the salaries and rents and so on. If that is the only reason for a designer to do this project, or to put designer's name on that project, then that business most probably is not going to work. And the same goes for hotels, spas, like all the public spaces. So I really think that we need to be able to teach and to know that we have so much to give and so much to actually make a person's life more complex, more conscious, more aware of all the choices, why this sofa is here, why what's behind me is the way it is. And so that is the best way. Another way is so if the person wants to learn but doesn't have the time, is super busy, then in that case, so the person says, okay, I want to learn, but I don't have the time. And in this case, that person should not have the time to screw us constantly. Because that is what's happening, because relationships with the clients, they become so personal, so so deep, and on no matter which level, and that person who doesn't want to study and learn still has time to come and have coffee with you, like every freaking Tuesday, and talk about her kids or her husband or whatever. And if you don't spend this time with this client, the client gets upset and angry, and so she or he doesn't have time to study, but does have time to take our time from actual work, which we're getting money for. So that's a no. I'm sorry. You don't have time to learn, we don't have time to drink coffee or spend whatever discussions about anything, unless we're actually becoming friends. Or unless we want to. And the third option is when the person doesn't have time, doesn't want to learn, then we're sorry, we'll do our best, and that's the price, and I'll see you with the key. So I believe that that is the way to go. Another way to go is to actually work on our own projects. And now Bali, for example, is full of those beginner designers who are renting an old house, renovating it, renting it out, and that's great. That's you do it with just your passion, just your love. You have fun. You're not responsible to anybody, and there are a lot of, so many ways that that we can be creative without being dependent on the client, and a lot of our ex-students, our graduates, are opening their galleries, their furniture shows. So, starting your own business is, can be a problem, and not everybody wants to do it. But another thing that is happening more and more, designers are selling concepts. So you have complete freedom, you do exactly what you want, and you put it out there. And you hope that somebody will like it. And I think this is so wonderful. And you don't even need to go through the whole process of building, because some people like it, some don't. And concepts is going to be a huge part of design profession in the future, which I think as a profession, designers, not just interior, but all kinds of designers, that is the future. Everything else is going to disappear. Everything else will be robotized. It will be AI and so on. But what AI cannot do, AI cannot do that. And AI cannot create. AI cannot dream. But we can. And this is our strength. This is actually what we are supposed to get money for, not for drinking coffee or not drinking coffee with the clients. So that is one little part of the global revolution in design. And what I want to talk about now is the actual trends of the future. And any trend in any sphere is 99% commercial. It's all about selling. It's all about money. And all those trends are pre-planned. There are big companies who are working on it. They are, and it's all connected not just with the actual production of the things that we're going to eat, wear, sit on, movies we're going to watch. It's politics. It's big politics. And it's planned years ahead, and everybody knows what is going to be the, the trend of the future and so on. And that's all of that happens through money, and big money. And money is very easy to guide where you want it to be for people who are actually doing, who are deciding. And that is a bit sad, but there is a thing as chance. a moment of randomness. And that randomness breaks everything. All the plans of all, world, what is it, world government, whatever. And that does happen. And we are actually those people who can change it and who can do something. And nobody will notice, but until it's going to be too late. So I'm very into planning this kind of, random disruption. Disrupting is it's a word which now is being pushed so much. Everybody is supposed to be disruptive. It's supposed to be good, but to actually make it something, something mundane. Like everybody is a disruptor, but very few are. And there are some real ones, but they will go unnoticed in this army of disruptors. Yes. So, yeah, for example, fashion. The trends in fashion. Like, let's say, a couple of, well, not so long ago, but like, but 10 years ago, everybody was black, gray, and white. There was no color. There was so little color in fashion, in like mainstream, yeah? So if you would see any city on a, whatever, a little bit cold day, the crowd is just dark. And what happens to people when they're all wearing pretty much the same color, and when it's all dark, when it's all gray, when it's all those colors of, well, negative emotions that we were discussing yesterday, the people change. The people get used to this concept of being a mess, or because they become that mess every single time they walk on the street. So they get used to this concept of just following. So why was that happening? What happened in the world? We were so ready to follow. When we were told, wash your hands, stay at home, and yeah, we just said, yeah, sure, okay. We were so ready. By mass media, by the mass culture, by fashion, by what was happening in interior design, we were so ready to follow the orders. What's happening now, you look at fashion now, it's rainbow, like all the colors. It's incredible what's happening. I've never seen so much bright colors in anything, because we're supposed to be happy. Like now we're supposed to be happy because soon we're not going to own anything and we're going to be happy. And, well, actually, I think it's true. We don't need all that stuff. But we are being prepared for, well, for getting happy. And so all these trends, yeah, what's happening in architecture, for example, if you see the new projects, everything is so pink and peachy. All those arches, which are beautiful, I love arches. And now this perfect, this perfect shape of the arch is everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And it's overtaking the architecture completely. And I mean, only the lazy person can put an arch somewhere, and which is beautiful. It's better than what was happening before with small windows and bathrooms without windows and long corridors. Again, preparing us for walking through those long corridors. So now architecture is changing, design is changing, and we are going through this the trends of, let's say, past years of Dutch, Belgian, British, dark, moody, interiors full of things and collectors' stories and so on, libraries. We are going to this euphoric floating on a cloud, sitting on a round sofa, everything. There are no corners anymore. Everything is supposed to be round, and everything is very, yeah, like we are leaving to Mars very soon. And everybody's happy, and there is nothing to fight about, and we should just chill. And which is very good. I'm not against it. But it's so clear to track it, to see where we are going. So, yeah, let's be happy, but let's also be smart. The biggest trend in general in the world is ecology, which is amazing, great. Unfortunately, again, this trend is taken by people with money and is guided into money. So this whole climate change, sustainability, green energy, oh my God, just money, 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 and money going from one side to another, not changing hands necessary. It's just pushing a story of, well, how we are polluting this planet, which we are, but I don't think to that extent, and how the planet is changing because we are polluting, which it is, but I don't think to that extent. And yeah, politics and money is moving this world, unfortunately, though beauty should, but there is, of course, positive in it. So, and the positive trends connected to this obsession with ecology is what we talked about already, is going away from the commercial over-consumerism, which we've done, oh my God, to the point of, well, I mean, if we would tell aliens what we bought in the last 10 years, they would just go like, why? Why did you buy all that? What did you do with it later? Oh, we threw it away. What? It doesn't make any sense. So that is going to stop. People gonna have less money, gonna own less, gonna buy less. That is great. I hope we're gonna produce less. And because things will be just handed out, and I hope this production will kind of stop. Another trend which is connected to stopping to buy, we will choose things more carefully. We will be very particular about what we actually are buying. And we will be creating those long-term relationships with each object, with each piece of wardrobe, with each chair, with everything. We will not be buying things because they're cheap. That is going to go. And thanks God for that. So that brings, of course, the trend of conscious choice in everything. And that is very good. But that choice has to be taught. And who is teaching that? Nobody. Nobody is teaching that. The system of education is just so, it's beyond rusty. It's falling apart. Kids are laughing at it. It's like studying the way we used to study, for those who are 7 years old now, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it's not clear who's going to teach those kids how to live in this new world that we are getting into. But very positive trends are, well, there is one which I really like, gardens. Gardens are going to be everywhere. Landscape designers are the profession of the future. And whoever has time should definitely study landscape design. Unfortunately, there are very, very, very few good teachers. I don't even know any good school of landscape design in Asia. I haven't heard about any. So gardens are going to be an absolutely essential part of every project. Even if it's an apartment. There will be gardens on the balconies, there will be indoor gardens, there will be miniature gardens, people will give gardens as presents. It turns out that they actually already do that. Plants are going to become part of our life. You know, already now, a friend of mine brought a thing. It's like a little machine with, how do you call it, sensors which you put on the plant, and you can hear the sound that that plant makes. It was a little bit weird, but I'm pretty sure that this will become part of our, like, everybody will have a machine like this, go and listen to the trees and put on the music of the plants instead of whatever else. The communal gardens will become a part. The study of plants in the wild should become a part of education for kids. A chef that is working on our boat now, he's saying that 70% of all grass or all plants in any forest is edible. We have no idea. I mean, we could live happily and, well, vegetarian, but still, just by what's growing here, right here. And this will become the science of the future, definitely. Gardens which people are putting, like now in the States, I saw a couple of programs about that. People are just putting, taking like abandoned, whatever, parking lots of any space and just planting something together, growing something together, not necessarily edible, which I think is, well, makes more sense. Yeah, so we're going to plant a lot. And we're going to surround ourselves with something growing. And I noticed with myself, I mean, I'm definitely not a landscape architect. I will show you my garden, which is never going to be finished. But I find myself caring about edible plants way more than those which I cannot eat. And I have an actual relationship with those edible plants or trees that bear fruit. I respect them. I mean, it's amazing. There is a tree, it's growing, there is a pomelo coming out of it. I mean, it's a miracle. It's absolutely magical. Yeah, these plants will become part of our life. And landscape design will be the profession of the future, that's for sure. That's the gardens. The next thing is the new materials. And we now finished this exhibition for G20, where a friend of mine organized a team of people who are now researching new materials for construction. And it's incredible what's happening. People are making solar panels from papaya, from kiwi fruit. It's unbelievable. You mix papaya with something, you just put the mix on whatever you need to put it on, and it produces electricity. It's just, yeah, absolutely amazing, mind-blowing. There is another person who is making bricks to build houses out of kenaf, which is a plant which grows really fast, and it's like grass, pretty much. And then make bricks out of that, which are stronger than anything made out of concrete. And it's okay. It's raining. Rain is good for the garden. The plants are happy. Well, yeah. So basalt, which is a rock, volcanic rock, and China is now building all bridges and houses out of basalt instead of steel. And basalt as a material can be used for anything pretty much. It will change fiberglass in boat building. It will change probably car productions. And there is so much happening. And there is bioepoxy, which is 95% organic, so no more of these horrible smells that we experienced when we were making a swimming pool model. So that is going to be, yeah, that's going to be amazing. And that's just going to explode because a lot of people, a lot of smart people are doing that. And, yeah, mushrooms, the stories are crazy. The whole world is turning to nature to produce everything that we need for building whatever we need, including a huge bridge, a plane or a train or whatever. So that is a wonderful trend. Another very interesting trend in the future is modular, prefabricated, not just houses, but anything from rooms. I can totally see that kids' rooms, for example, are going to be sold as a whole model. And those people who are going to design those and who will be the first ones to start selling, they're going to make billions. Bathrooms. A whole room can be prefabricated and put into whatever bathroom. You just put in water and electricity, and modular, modular kitchens and so on, and of course the whole houses. And the modular houses, which are going to be built from those new materials, that is the future. That's what people are going to buy. This is how the new cities, the new villages are going to be built. We will build fast. We will build very cheap. We will build so that we can order a house in Bali and put it on whatever mountain, wherever we want, move it with us when we are leaving, if we want. Or, I don't know, give it as a present to the neighbors. And so that is wonderful.